Now today I want to talk about the top 5 teams going into the season for the Big Ten. I just broke down the SEC on a video I just did. I'm actually recording these all at the same time. It's crazy camera editing magic I could do. But like what I did with the SEC, I'm going to give you some teams right off the list. And for me, that's Iowa, Rutgers, and Washington, especially Rutgers. I was listening to the radio like at midnight one night driving home from work, and these guys were talking about Rutgers like they can make the playoffs. And I'm like, okay, let's calm down there. But then I start looking at their schedule. I'm like, wow, they really have like 1 or 2 tough games. They barely play any of the big dogs in the Big Ten. They have a chance to go 10-2 and maybe potentially make the playoffs. I think it was Kirk Herbstreit talking about it where he said there's a chance that Oregon and Ohio State, the winner or the loser of that, could potentially miss the conference championship game for Rutgers. And I'm like, that's crazy because they don't even play each other. With that being said, let's get into the top 5. At number 5, I've got USC. I can see them being a sneaky good 9-3, especially with Miller Moss and Deuce Robinson. I gotta say, I've been using Deuce Robinson on College Football 25 in my ultimate team. He's a 6'6" wide receiver, I believe, with 81 speed, so gotta use him. Miller Moss, like I said, is gonna be taking the helm, and Lincoln Riley, one thing he does do well is offense, so as long as their defense is just better than last year, they should be fine. The huge game for them is the first game against LSU. It's in Las Vegas. It's a key game because it's closer to their home than LSU's home. I don't know how well LSU fans travel, but it should be a lot easier for USC fans to be able to travel there. And I know people are like, what USC fans? I don't think I've ever met a USC fan in my life. Anywho, let's get to number 4, which is going to be Michigan. Now, Michigan, I believe, will take a step back after the national championship. Obviously, every year I think they're going to take a step back. Realistically, they were a great team last year, and they lost pretty much everything they had. Their defense, gone. Their offense, gone. What they have is Alex Orji at quarterback. He's a question mark for me. I don't know how well he could throw the ball. I don't even know what's coming out of the Sharon Moore-led team. I know there's a lot of scandals coming out. Just real quick about my opinion, I think if you violate the rules, you should be in trouble for it. Same with Ohio State with the tattoo. Same with Michigan with this whatever it was, buying a cheeseburger, sign stealing. I don't think one is worse than the other. It's just the rule might be dumb itself, but if you break the rules, you probably deserve some sort of punishment. And I think that's a fair take on it. But like I said, most of the team is gone. Alex Orji for me is a question mark. I believe their tight end Colston Loveland is still there, and he's probably going to be their best offensive weapon. Now at number 3, this is where it starts getting murky for me. Drew Aller is unproven, and I think that Katron Allen and Nick Singleton are going to be their 2 best players on offense. Both of them, they're running backs. They're going to carry this team until they have to face off against the better defensive lines. I think that when we saw Drew Aller last year, especially when they were playing Ohio State, it was like, what are we watching? I mean, dude's throw chart was in the stands. I think he was probably under 50% completion percentage and just did not look really well. I feel like the best game he had last year was probably that game against Ole Miss in the bowl game. I know that was a high scoring game, and that was probably where he started to be a little bit more comfortable. Now we got to give the kid a pass. He was a freshman last year. No, he was a sophomore. Sorry, my bad. But I still think since the guy was young, it was his first year fully starting. He might have even been a redshirt freshman. I don't really know what he was, but he should be better this year, and if he takes that step up, Penn State could make the playoffs. Penn State's going to be the team that probably favors the most from a 12-team playoff because they don't have to go through Ohio State and Michigan every year just to miss the playoffs at 10-2. Now at number 2, I've got Oregon. This team could easily be number 1 because they have to play the number 1 team at home. They get Ohio State at home. The highlight is the defense of this team. I think they can win the Big Ten. Their front 7 is insane. I mean, you can go play with them on College Football 25. You basically can't run the ball on them. And last but not least, the most important part is the quarterback. Dylan Gabriel transfers from Oklahoma, transfers from UCF. I don't want to go out here bashing guys, but from my experience at UCF, I was kind of in with the journalism kids, and I was told he ain't really that good of a guy. Maybe he's changed around. It sounds like his teammates at Oklahoma liked him, and I've been on the record to say this in past videos. Not a lot of people even know I said that. So if Dylan Gabriel ever sees this, I just heard he was a bad guy. UCF fans are probably salty since he left anyway. I think his play style fits with Oregon. I actually disagree about what the talking heads are saying about him. I think he's better than advertised, which is crazy because of what I just said about him. Oregon's hurry-up offense can be perfect for him. At UCF, he ran the fast-paced, go-go-go offense, kind of the same in Oklahoma. And what I hear about him is what Joel Klatt says about him, which is that, oh, he likes the more reading a defense and kind of throw the open man or something. It's more of like a conservative style, and like Dylan Gabriel is just good at decision making. His freshman year when Gabe Davis was there, all he would do is just throw bombs, and it was like they'd score in a minute every single time. If they didn't score in a minute, it'd be like, well, that was a failed drive. I guess my point is I think he's more of a downfield threat than anyone knows. I think he can throw the deep ball well, and he's left-handed like me, so respect to Dylan Gabriel. Now, number 1, the team that I think is far and away the best team in the country, maybe not far and away because the talent gaps are just getting smaller as the transfer portal goes on and NIL and whatnot. It's Ohio State. I mean, they return almost every defensive starter, and the toughest game on their schedule is at Oregon, like I stated earlier. Now, I have the most notes on this team that I did on any team because I know their roster like the back of my hand. Will Howard transfers from Kansas State. He's 6'4" and can move, but he's still probably the biggest question mark as well as offensive line for this team. Judkins and Henderson is going to be the best unstoppable backfield in the country. That's going to be the best 1-2 punch that anyone sees all year. Emeka Egbuka and Jeremiah Smith are elite wideout options, as well as Brandon Innes, as well as Carnell Tate, as well as any of those other guys you want to throw in there, whether it's Jaden Ballard Pollard. Now, Julian Fleming did go to Penn State, so he's probably going to be their best offensive weapon at Penn State. But with that being said, onto the defense. They return almost every one of their starters. Like I said, it's highlighted by JTT, Denzel Burke, Jack Sawyer, and Caleb Downs. The defense is full of NFL stars that is just all going to be in the league next year. I guarantee you watch the draft and the first round is going to be like, hey, Ohio State, Ohio State, Ohio State. There could be 6 or 7 guys that go. But with that being said, that's the Big Ten list. I'm really confident about this one, at least the first 3. After that, it's kind of like, I don't really know what's going on. But I'm confident in my Ohio State take, and I'm willing to double down on it. So if you want to argue with me in the comments, you're more than welcome to. I like to debate with people, so go ahead and tell me if you think, hey, you should put Wisconsin higher, or hey, why is Iowa not listed on here? I would love to debate because I love talking college football. So really, if you do get to the end of this video, comment. I will respond to you. I love talking college football, so let's do it. But with that being said, most important thing on this channel is to have a great day, and peace.